Well, here we are. Let's do it. We got graph course, crash course, GraphQL crash course to complete here. This is at NetNinja.com. That's one of the teachable workouts or work classes kind of thing. Okay, so if I had to rank the quality of the learning between NetNinja and wait, did this not work? Why is it not working? Okay, it did work. Okay. And the Coursera class I just took for Python. Granted, I got a lot out of the Python one. I mean, it was a fundamentals and it was very basic, but as far as the structure of the class and how it's set up, I mean, really, that entire class could have been taught in an hour. Really could have. I feel like, well, okay, maybe a couple of hours, but it really just wasn't that much. It was just a lot of words, a lot of talking, not a lot of doing. It's not really my favorite kind of learning, but it is the way a college class often is, I've been told. So yeah, I guess that's a thing. Okay, so I completed this one, the next JS masterclass, and we are currently working on the GraphQL class. You can see I've only got a few left. And this one does it really nice. I mean, they're not much longer. They're bite-sized bits, but you're actually doing the whole time as long as you kind of code along with them. You're always doing something, which is very nice. So it means you're actually hands-on, picking up stuff. I haven't worked on this one since last Thursday, I think. But that's not too bad. We'll get through it. I have to go do the query variables, shall we?
All right then, gang. So now we have some type definitions which describe the data we have on the graph and also specify the entry points to the graph, which are to...
I'm not going to put it up to show all of it. I mean, I'll show the bits and pieces as I go along. But typically I just kind of code along with them.
So it can be sent to the client. What if a user just wants to send a query for a single review or a single author or a single game? Well, currently,
so we're basically getting it down to, whoops.
First, we don't specify that a user can enter the graph in that way in the root query. The only 3 entry points that we have are queries for all the reviews, all the games, or all the authors. And secondly, we don't have any resolver functions to handle queries for single items. We only have them to match these 3 entry points or lists of data. So we need to address both of those things, starting with this root query type. The way we do that is by just adding...
So we're going to go to a schema file. Schema file.
Reviews, I'm going to make
Xschema.
query available called review singular for a user to fetch.
So they're creating another like data type of sorts. Instead of just coming back with all of it, we're going to come back with...
Add one more thing to this, and that's a query variable. Say that when a user makes this query, we expect them to send a variable along with it as well. And that variable would be the ID of the review that they want to fetch. Because we need the ID to find the review in our data in order to send it back to them. So to do that, we just add parentheses after the query name, and then we can add a variable name, which I'm going to call ID.
Nice.
And we also need to specify the type of this variable that we expect as well, which is going to be the ID type. And finally, we want to say that this variable is required when someone makes this query, so it can't be null.
Okay, so we're making it a required ID type variable, and ID is the field we're basically pulling, we're requiring for a parameter so that we can get a singular back instead of all of it.
This variable to the query, which must be an ID. So now we just need to make a resolver function for this query as well. So back in the index file, we can add a new function inside
make a
the
resolver function.
resolver's object, and that function is going to be called review singular again. And inside this function, we basically need to return a single review based on the ID variable that a user passes into the query. So how do we get that ID in this resolver function? Well, we automatically get 3 arguments available to us in these functions that we can use. The first one is something called parents, which refers to the parent resolver in a resolver chain. That probably doesn't make much sense at the minute, but hopefully...
The parent is probably the group, parents, and then you're going to pull one out of it? That's what I'm thinking.
I'm going to rename define this first one.
He's telling you that this is a value that you always have.
The second one, which we do need, is
Oh.
called ARGS, which stands for
Okay.
arguments. And
He
it's
said for now we're not using it, so pass it with that. These are the arguments you would get.
Context object, which we can use for supplying context values across all of our resolvers, such as authentication information or something like that. But we don't need that third argument right now. So,
Okay, so there's three values. Context is the other one, but we're not using it.
in the query from this args object. And what we want is the ID variable. So we can just say args.id to get that. And we're going to use the ID now to find whatever review has the ID in our data and then return it. So the way I'm going to do this is by just taking db.reviews again. And then I'm going to use the find method.
I'm trying to get ahead of it.
So this find method basically fires a function for every item inside the reviews array. And for each item, we can take in the review as an argument. So if we go back to the data, if we're cycling through this, it will refer to this first, then this.
Wouldn't it be like something like
this, okay? So each time we cycle through one of these items, we can check the ID property of it. Now, if the ID property matches the ID on this argument, then we want to return true inside this function. And when we return true, it no longer needs to cycle through the rest of the array.
I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll see.
Right here,
I mean,
so we need to say
syntactically speaking, it's correct.
review.id and see if it's triple equal to args.id. So when that is
Oh,
true,
well, he's
that
calling
is
it
the
review.
that we want to return to the user.
And it's
And that's pretty much all there is to it. So
that's
now
pretty
let's
much
see
exactly
this
what I wrote,
and test it
except
out.
he used this
Okay, so how do we
instead,
actually
which is
say
probably better than
a
E.
variable from the front end when we're making a query? Well, first of all, after
All right, quick recap or is it this one? One of these starts the app up. One of them does. I gotta. It's not that one. I don't know. What are we using? Localhost something. Is it 3,000? Doesn't actually tell you. Is it 4,000? It might be 4,000. It probably does tell you. It just doesn't tell you on here. Hey, found it. Okay, so there it goes. Nodeman index, nodemon index, and then you get to go on to the next thing. So we're back to here. Query, example query. Let's see, what's he got going here?
the query name, we can use parentheses to declare any variables that can be passed into this query as a whole. Now that can be multiple variables in the future, but for now it's just one variable, the ID. And if you were using something like React to make this query, you could pass those variables into the whole query from a React component. And then within the query, we can use those variables for different parts of the query. So first of all, let's declare what variables can be passed into the query as a whole. So inside parentheses, we declare each variable that can be passed in using a $sign and then the variable name. So we can say $sign and then ID. And then after that, we use a colon and specify what type of data this variable should be. In our case, that's the ID type. For all intents and purposes, it's going to be a string that we pass in, but it's an ID type. Now, in order to pass that variable into the query from Apollo Sandbox, you can come down here to the bottom and select variables. And then you can make a JSON
Down here to the
object
bottom?
of key value pairs, one for each variable. So we can add the ID one and set it to be 1 in quotations. So now these variables are going to get passed into the query and populate the arguments inside the parentheses.
Oh, so this is just the test location? So we're just validating that our stuff works.
And we can use that variable when we request a single review inside this query. So let's do that. Let's ask for a single review and then pass in the ID of the review that we want to find. So we can say ID is equal to the ID variable, which in turn is equal to 1. And that's all we have to do. to say that we want that one single review. We can also specify which fields we want back as well though, for example the rating and also the content properties. So now we're asking for one single review with the ID of 1, and we just want these two fields for that review, and if we hit send we should see the response from the server which contains that review and inside it the two fields that we asked for. Awesome.
Whoa.
So that's how we use query verify.
Okay, I hit the wrong button. Is it this one? Which one is send? I thought it was review query. This is the review query. This? Oh, run operation. Control enter. Nope. Well, mine did a lot more than just. I got a lot more back than he did. Probably because I'm getting errors. All right, so we got query, review query. We got query, review query, ID, $, required, review ID, $sign ID. All right, so I did something wrong.
Fields for that review, and if we hit send we should see the response from the server which contains that review and inside it the two fields.
What's send? Is it this one? Log in to run operation block. Okay, that's not it. Never mind. All right, what? I thought it was this thing. Review query. I think that's probably got to be it. I just got errors. Expected iterable, but did not find one for field query review. Got variables, ID, equal a :1, comma. Is that what the thing is? Do I need to do that? Nah, it didn't complain about that. Now it could be that I've got an error back here. I have to look here first one more time. Rating, content, review, ID, :ID, and squiggly brackets, bracketing the whole thing with another squiggly bracket. So now I think my code up here is a match. So obviously I'm getting something wrong. Errors, message, expected iterable, but did not find one for field/query.review. So we got query here. Did I mess something up here? Probably. Let's go look at the code. We will go to, yeah, and then we're on lesson 6. And we will go see my query, individual query, review, ID. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I need to be looking at index. Nope. That is index. Okay. So we got review, return DB reviews, find. Review, blah, 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 review ID equals args.id. Oh, but I forgot to do the double equals. Weird. Okay. Huh. All right, let's see what that does. Well, didn't do anything. I didn't get any change at all. So the other thing is go look at my schema. Did I do something wrong with my schema? Go back here, look at schema. So I got type query. Oh, why did I type query there? Oh, it is query. Game review author query. But he's got a lot more stuff in his. Oh, he's just creating more. I got review ID. Oh, that's not supposed to be in a bracket. I don't know why, but So when they're singular, you're just bringing back one object of these, but this is an array of, and not only read, okay, that makes sense, because the brackets imply that you're bringing back an array. And that's kind of what this says. Something has to be iterable because it's an array, but I'm not doing an array. There we go. Lorem ipsum, rating 9. Got it. All right, let's move on.
Fields that we asked for. Awesome. So that's how we use
Hey, Fairs Mohammed, how you doing?
Now let's try
Well, I'm done with the Python basics course. And now I'll have to do another Python class, a little bit more advanced, hopefully next time. I finished it this morning, I did the lessons for it this morning. And now I'm trying to finish up this GraphQL crash course. There's only like 9 parts in this, and I'm already on 6. So he's doing one of, now we're going on to doing, he's going to do a game one and an author one. So we're gonna, these are almost gonna be exactly the same.
Back over in index, we need to basically do the same thing for author and game that we did for review. So I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm gonna paste it up here, change the name of this to game, we still need the args. The whole logic is the same, however we just need to...
I will be doing more Python though, I think. I don't feel like I got enough out of that. I did feel like I learned some stuff for sure, but it's mostly for me, it's like learning the syntax of Python. You know, I'm not doing, it's not so much learning the programming part of it, because I know programming, the concepts of programming, so, but I don't know Python syntax, so. Okay, so we did one for authors, and we did one for game. Now we got to go back over to the index, and we're doing the same thing here, where we're going to basically do what we did here. And I'm going to stick one of these guys in. I believe with comma, author, comma, game. And then we're going to go here, and we're just going to change this to author. This is just the filter portion. So basically, you're taking your author's selection, and you're just going to filter it out. So this is not really doing a whole lot different, to be honest. It's a very basic thing where it's just going to filter the array of, or the list of objects. Except it's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be that. All right, so we're all saved up. Yeah, I finished the Python one. I think if I combined all the time I put into it last week, I started it last week and I finished it today, but I just did the assignments today. I did all the quizzes and stuff last Friday. Combined time was maybe 6 hours, if that. It really wasn't. I mean, I'm not even talking about, if I was just heads down coding and I wasn't streaming and I didn't do any extra because I just wanted to get it done, probably would have got it done in 4 hours. I think even a person who knows nothing about programming, if they sat down and said, I'm going to do this class, and they just did it from morning to evening, they'll probably be done by the end of the day. It's so basic that every class is, or every video tutorial is just one little task, like if then or where or something, and you'd be doing assignments and stuff pretty constantly. I mean, if you watched every second of his videos, I don't think you get more than a couple of hours of video even in there, because they're all short, 10 minutes, 12, 13. There might have been a 15-minute one in there. Yeah, that might be stretching it though. But I'm certainly not done learning Python. I'm just done with the Python fundamentals class. I got a long way to go there. I did this wrong. This is supposed to be authors, and that's supposed to be games. There we go. That should probably do it. And let's go see where we are, and we're probably almost done with this.
We have authors, so let's paste this in again. A comma, change this to author singular.
He's just filling them in now. He's doing games. He's doing what I just did while I was blathering on.
Games array, and this one should be the authors array. I think that's pretty much it. So And now this should all work for the other two types as well, but let's check it out in Apollo Explorer. So then let's give this a whirl.
We're over here.
Change the name because it doesn't really matter, but we're always still passing in the ID, and we'll just pass in 1. It doesn't have to change. I mean, we'll change it to 2 just to have a look. And then this time, instead of review, in fact, let's try and review first of all to see if we can get a different one back, which we do. Okay. Now let's change this to game.
Nope. What happened?
ID of 2. Now we need different fields for game. Title.
Wait, hold up. Wait, something happened in my code. Did I forget something? I probably forgot something. Comma. Because this one failed to fetch. Type error. Type error? 2? What did I do wrong? I must have I syntactically broke something. See, these don't separate by commas at all. We got review, author, game. We got ID. We got exactly the same. Authors. Oh, wait. Nope. Review, author, game. Game. Oh, wait. I think I might have it here. Author is supposed to be capital. Yep. And so is game. Syntax. Gotta get that syntax, man, because I am a syntax neophyte. I get that one off all the time. There it is. Okay, so now he's just testing these.
I'm also going to return the ID just to make sure it's getting the correct one. And you can see the ID is 2. The title.
He's doing author, and he's including. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, look, he'd actually put that in for me.
Send that. Okay, yeah, that works.
But we're going to actually return the ID, I guess. He wants to return ID.
Authors. So, singular author.
And what's it? Ah, blew up again. What did I do now?
And we want the
I said we got author, title, ID. Oh, that's because there is no. These things don't exist. Title. Let's see, what do we got for author options? He's doing game right now. Of course, he would go out of the way and do the wrong one. What is the author name? Oh, wait, how about name? And he also did, what is it? Game? Nope. Is there a way to, like, I don't know, comment it? What are the, I mean, it shows them to you if you start typing, but see, it's like it'll say it's there if it's there. What is an author's return? Let's go down here. I'm curious, can you do a selection, run selection? Let's see what happens if I say query review authors. We're just going to go, I don't need any of that. Go there. And we're just going to say squiggly, and we'll say return. And what if I just select these? Can I do that? Is it that smart? Nope, not that smart. So I have to take this out. Return authors. No? All right. See, I gotta get this down. Oh. Let's see here. Oh, it's just query. I guess it'd probably be good if I knew how this worked. Oh, this is just drilling down. That's all that's doing. Thought maybe it'd be useful. Select all fields recursively up to 6 levels. So when I click these, it just goes to the next one. Author ID. Is that a thing? Oh, it actually put it down here. Check that out. ID to author ID. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how this is functioning. So it looks like I got a little ways to go just understanding how this tool works, not to mention how everything else works. My dog's barking at something. I thought I heard someone outside. All right, well, let's go back and see what he's doing. So he's got author. He's doing game, I guess.
The name and also a platform, passing in the ID. And we'll just pass in 1, it doesn't have to change. I mean, we'll change it to 2 just to have a look. And then this time, instead of review, in fact, let's try review first of all to see if we can get a different
Title.
Which we do, okay.
And then he's got,
Let's change this.
see, it'll show you the thing if you know what it is. I was just trying to figure out.
Now we need different fields for the game. I think we have a title.
So that works. Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's a game I want. I want that game.
And we can see the ideas too, the title, and also the platforms.
And it shows you your platforms, PS5, Xbox.
3 here. Send that. Okay, yeah, that works.
Hey,
And then
mine only has it on PS5 and Xbox. His is on PC too.
singular author. Gonna go back to 1.
Now we're doing author.
We want
It's only because I don't know how
and
how to see what fields are in there. I gotta look at
the
that.
verified status, that's it.
Dang it, why does it do that?
And the ID. Press this send button and we can see the
Name.
Now let's change the variable to 2. Yeah, it brings back the Yoshi one, a different one. Awesome. So this is all working now. That's how we can send query variables in our queries.
How do we do this? Okay, so we did that. We're on 7. On to the next task. We're done. Everything's working.
Alright then, so things are starting to take shape now. We can query lists of data and also we can query single data items as well using query variables. And now I want to take this one step further and talk about related data in GraphQL. So if we open up the DB data file and look at the reviews data, we can see that each review has an author ID property and also a game ID property. And that's the way in our data we're relating these different things so that every review has an associated author and associated game as well. So if I was to pluck out a random review, I would then be able to try and find the author and the game associated with that review.
So he's pulling, and now we're going into how to pull
I could look at the ID of that
related data, how to get data from other data,
array to find any review
from other
where
related
the
data.
game ID matches that, meaning I could pick out
Like
all
getting the
reviews
game from the
associated with
reviews
each
or the
game.
author or whatever.
Now, that's how this looks on the data side of things, but currently in our schema we don't really define any relationships between the data. So when Apollo makes our graph based on this schema, it won't know that every game has a list of related reviews at the moment, and that every review has a related author and game, and also that every author has a list of reviews that they wrote. So we need a way of defining those relationships in our schema so that Apollo knows to make our graph that way with those relationships. Alright, so let's start with the review type right here. So we know
All right, so we're going to go to schema. I guess we're going to create relationships.
a game and an author. So I could say that the game is going to be a type game, like so. And that's required, right? Because we can't have a review and no game, that's not going to exist. Also, we have the author,
It's also going to have
which is
an author
again,
with an author type.
an author. Alright, so down here, every game is going to have a list of reviews. So we'll say reviews. So list, so square brackets, and then inside
And it is a list, so we will do this.
the types inside this can't be nullable data inside it. So
So we have to have something.
Right here, but that's not to say that we have to have reviews. We're not going to put exclamation mark.
So all this means is if
nullable as a whole.
we have a review, all the information has to be there. You can't just put a null in.
It has to be.
But we don't have to have reviews, but if we do have a review, it's not null,
So
it's
same down
something.
here for the author.
It's not a null
Let's
review.
say the reviews by this author are going to be a
Going on
list of
author.
review objects. Again, exclamation mark, but not at the
And
end.
go
because
reviews.
the authors that haven't written any reviews yet. Alright? Okay, so now we've made those connections in our different types. We also need to make some resolver functions to resolve any nested queries. for
Now we're going to go
data.
create some resolver functions so that we can connect them all, pull stuff.
And then make a nested query for all the reviews for that game. And that query would look something like this, where the initial jumping in point is for a single game, but then we also ask for the reviews related to that game, along with the rating and content for each review. So at the moment, Apollo doesn't really know how to handle that nested query for the reviews inside the specific game. The only way it knows how to resolve reviews currently is by grabbing all of them, by grabbing one of them based on the ID. And these are both root
So
queries.
basically what we're doing is we're defining the route through which you can get this stuff out of Apollo because it doesn't know the connections.
Based on the ID of
Why
the
would it?
particular game. We don't have a resolver for that. So the way we make this resolver is not by making it inside this query object, because these are resolvers for entry points to the graph, as defined by the query type that we made in the schema. So instead, because this nested request is associated with a game object, we make a new property inside the resolver object called game, which is also an object. And then inside
Oh, okay. So we're creating, instead of a query, we're actually creating what amounts to a new query type, which is going to be game.
or the single game. So I'm going to make a function called reviews to do this, and it's going to take.
So we're creating a function within a game.
Now remember, I mentioned this one in a previous video, but we didn't need it back then. However, now we do need it. So the way this is going to work is, because our entry point for the query is a single game, Apollo will run that initial resolver function inside the query object to get that single game.
I mean, there's a lot of colons in GraphQL.
The reviews for that game, it's going to look to the game object, since that's what we just grabbed, right, a game, and then it's going to look for the reviews resolver inside that to grab the reviews. So it's inside this function that we tell Apollo how to do that. But how do we know what game we're getting reviews for? Well, we can access the ID of the game via the parent argument, because the parent argument is a reference to the value returned by the previous or parent resolver. Now, in our case, that's going to be the game one. So the initial one inside.
So I want to know how he connects the game function to the game resolver.
Game object, and that game object is going to have an ID, which we can then use. So we can use the ID now to return all the reviews associated.
Oh, okay. I think it's probably because you're going to go reviews and you're going to select a game with the game as the ID.
DB, which is the data, remember, that we imported, and then we want the reviews array on that. Then we're going to use the filter method. So what we're going to do is filter out any review that doesn't have the same game ID as the ID.
So it's basically going to be ID.
Because if they are the same, and
We're going to filter it out. So we're going to say kind of ID, but not equal to. It's probably going to be something of this.
So we fire a function for each item inside the array. I'm going to refer to each review item as R, and then we want to
Oh, the
return R.
See, I tried to do that before, didn't like it. R,
ID. Remember that
which is just the review. And then we're doing this.
each review has a game underscore
R
ID
dot.
to associate it with a particular game, and we want to check if that matches with a particular game, the game we've just queried. So we'll say triple equal to the parent, which has the ID property, because that is actually the game object. So where they match, they're going to.
So this is where the parent object's ID, and the parent is the object that's calling this item.
To return all the reviews associated with that game. Where they don't match, they're filtered out, so we don't return those. Okay, so let's.
Oh, but I also got to make sure I do lots of equals.
So I've got this query already set up. So we're using a query variable ID, which we're passing right here. So ID2. We ask for the
So we're going to use the same ID too here.
So all the reviews associated with that particular game ID. We'll get the rating and the content from each one. So let's give this a whirl. And yep, cool. So we can see we get the game title and.
So we got game ID, and then he's got the title. And then he's got reviews. And then he's doing this thing. And in the reviews, we're going to go rating. Content. Oops. Content. And then that's it. He's not putting anything else. Oh, we blew up again. What did I do? Game, ID, title, reviews, ID. I'm going to get title, comma, reviews, rating, content. So he's got all his stuff working. Failed to fetch. Type it. Oh, that sounds like I may have I may have cased it. Hosed the case. Feel like I hosed a case. Let's see what he did. Parent R filter lowercase r parent reviews game. Well, no case problem there. Game ID equals parent.id. I mean, yeah, I have a semicolon at the end, but that's not going to be an issue. I do have an extra comma here for some reason. I don't know why I have that. Not sure that that would break anything, but come to think of it, I shouldn't have this comma. I think it's putting these commas in for me, which is very interesting if you think about it. Where you don't actually have a next item in the list, formatting says you can put an extra comma. It doesn't, it's like it's smart enough not to, but what it does allow is for you just to come back and type in something new later, and you don't have to worry about having forgotten a comma. But I don't think that's tripping it up because it normally does not. So I have to figure out what I did here. Now he didn't do anything new here except, actually he didn't add anything to the schema. So the schema doesn't even care that I did that. And we already know that stuff works. So what did I miss? Oh, it's got to be reviews, plural. Okay, so in the game we got the reviews, and then I have reviews here. Okay, that makes sense. There you go. All done, man. We got his Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then we have the ratings that it's got from 2 different people, but I don't have the name of the person, man. We got to put the author in here because that just seems silly to not have the author. I guess we can't have the author. We have the review, but we can't have an author. Yeah, can you? You have to have a review. A review has. Why can't it have an author? You have authors, but you should be able to have an. Why does it always put? It insists upon putting all this other junk. Oh, maybe I need to have. I can't just go straight up. I have to have a name. I just wanted his name to begin with, but whatever. Cannot return null for non-nullable field review author. Huh. I guess not. I don't know why. There is an author, but it has to be an object, and I can't like just have it return the name of the author. Apparently, doesn't like it. I don't know what the I would think that our. Let's go look at our DB. So reviews, yeah, reviews only have author IDs. So I think it's because we don't actually have author identified. So we can't pull it up. I'm getting ahead of the game. That's next step.
And then I'll say the game underscore ID. That should be 2. Oh, in fact, we can't do that. And the reason we can't do that is because we didn't specify that on our schema. Alright, so I'm not going to do that. But if you remember, in our different types, on the review object, we didn't add the game ID. That is something you could do if you wanted to, but it's not going to work here because I didn't add it.
So if you're curious, what is GraphQL? What are we doing here? Why am I doing GraphQL as opposed to more Python or more of some other thing? It's because I'm trying to build myself up a knowledge range.
Okay, so we've sort of related data when it comes to finding reviews for a game.
I'm trying to build up my knowledge range of a complete stack of new tech. So I know C#, I know ASP.NET, which is a front end, and then we kind of got C# kind of a middle tier, and then we have SQL Server, which is kind of a back end, right? It's a database. I can kind of build a full stack out of that stuff. I know enough about how that stuff kind of works to accomplish that. But with latest technologies, most of the stuff is web-based, and although ASP.NET is web, it's an older tech, and people aren't doing a lot of ASP.NET, C# middle tier, DLLs components into a database backend. So they're starting to do things that are more like, a robust, fast, single page front end like React. And then, but React by itself is just kind of mostly a front end. It's a, build your pages, navigate, do all that kind of stuff. But then you start wanting to get into like back end. You want to start putting stuff on the server, have less and less stuff going on the client where you're only going to show client code. So then that would be like that's where NextJS comes in. It becomes a very server oriented. It starts being able to handle things like database calls, and it becomes kind of your middle tier. Okay, but it does, when it's database calls, they're very basic. It's just like you would just get back a set of data from one table. You say, I want this stuff from this table, and you'd get it back using Next.js. Well, Next.js is not very good for robust, very detailed queries. You're just going to get very generic stuff back, and then you just pull the data you want from what you get off of one table. Then there is the databases in the back end, which I haven't done too much with, although I did do a little bit of the Supabase. Supabase is a back end, which is a kind of a internet database that people use, Postgres. And it works pretty good. I was kind of learning that one a little bit. Kind of had the full range, but GraphQL is kind of like I don't want to say an add-in, but it's an extra thing that allows you to do more robust data grabbing from database. And thus, it takes what Next.js can do to the next level as far as database and data fetching. So it's allowing me to get a more complete functional picture of what I can do with these things. Python, on the other hand, is a whole nother animal. It's more on the C# line of things. It's a different kind of code that you can use for a lot of functionality. It's just it's not in the same vein. I mean, yes, you can use it to probably write components and that kind of thing like you would with C#, in which case your other code would maybe reference it or pull it up, and you'd be you'd be using those components like maybe a web server or something like that, web component, and those would be built for you, and then you would reference that functionality. But that's what you would do with those. That'd be like an outside piece that you would create and you would write the code for, and perhaps your server stuff would reference it. But it's for a different kind of tasking. So this is me trying to build up my general web tools, web technologies knowledge to a more complete state. And then, Python is just another popular language that's up there with C# and other things that I can add to, things I can do or access and work with.
Reviews can also be associated with an author, can't they? So if we take a look at author, they can have a list of reviews as well. So let's do the same thing for author. So
we're going to go down here. We're basically going to copy this, and we're going to go here. It's the same exact thing, really, but now we're going to do one for author. And he can have reviews. This one's going to be the author ID. And that's probably going to be all I need for that one. Oops, what did I do wrong? Because that didn't work. Return, reviews, filter. It looks good. Let's see what I'm doing.
like we had a game property, this time we need an author property, like so, which is an object. And then we want the reviews resolver for this, where we take in the parents, and then inside there we're going to do essentially the same thing as this. So let's return reviews.filter. This time we want to check the author ID is equal to the parent ID. Alright? So the author ID on the review, remember, we have that right here. We're checking this against the ID of the author we selected. And then we're only returning the reviews where, if this was the author, for example, one.
I don't know why my formatting isn't working.
Review. Okay? So let's save that. I'm not going to test it just yet because there's one more set of resolvers I want to do, and that's for the reviews. So
we're going to do one for reviews too.
we select a single review. If we go to our see that each review has an associated game and author, so they would be nested queries. So we need to make a resolver function to get the game associated with that review and also the author. So two resolver functions right here. So let's do the author first of all, and we're taking the parents. So the parent this time is going to be a single review, and we're going to return db.authors, and then we're going to find a single author because this is a list of authors associated with a single review.
Okay, because we're doing it with a single author. We're going to go return db authors, which we're already doing.
And I'm going to call each element
Find
and then what we want to do is grab the ID of that, so
A for author.
and we want to return true when it's equal to the parent, which is the review object, .author ID. So where they match, it means that author is
Now we got a.id,
and we're returning that single author.
parent.author.
This time it's going to be for the game, because again, a single game is associated with a particular review.
Now we're doing multiples inside of here, but we're only doing the filtering.
Change this to G for game,
And we're not doing filtering.
ID. And that's all there is to it. Oops, this needs to be changed right here. Cool.
And now we're going to take this guy. We're going to go down here. Wait. Oh, he actually puts, okay, no, never mind. Did I do that right? Yeah. Maybe I did. But we'll copy again. Go here. Go here. And we're just putting them all within the review. So we have multiple inside of here. We got game, parent, and we got return db game, games, find A, I'll find G because it stands for game instead of that. We're going to go G here. And then we're going to go parent dot game ID. I gotta shave my branches out here because I can't see what's going on out there. I like to know what's going on in the world. See, my something is going on. I don't think I've got this right because my formatting isn't working. Oh, I know what it is. I got too many. I broke my parentheses. That's why. There we go. Everybody's nesting because I wasn't getting my my squigglies in the right places. Now we should be able to do this. So we got this F that one goes to there. Oh, and these guys have to have commas. Hey, now we can do it. Now we're probably going to go test.
Now we have our resolver functions for nested authors and games.
A lot of this is, there's so much syntax things that could throw you off. Case sensitivity, your commas, your parens.
So let's start
You know.
starting off
So we're going to do,
as author.
how does that work? Okay, so he's doing author. And then we're going to have name.
We'll keep the ID as one that we pass in. We want the author name. And then we'll get the reviews associated with the author. So we'll press that and we can see Mario has these reviews right here, these two, awesome. And then let's try author with the ID of 2.
He's just trying some different versions. It is obviously working at the moment.
So that's working. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to make a new query so we can come back to this. And I'm going to paste it in here and just change it. So we'll change this to review query. And then we'll pass in an ID again. So let me go back here and copy this. Like so. Paste it in.
I mean, it's not much to copy, but he is copying, so.
With the ID, we're going to get the rating of that review, but then also we want the associated game, and for the game we will get the title and the platform, like so. Oops. Platform.
Game,
And we can see now we get the
title,
and the single game
platform.
associated with that review, which is awesome. We also can get the author, remember, so let's do that as well. And for the author we want the name and and also we'll get the verified.
I gotta change this to review. And then we're gonna get the author. Author, I said we're gonna get some author. I know I don't know how to talk quite right sometimes because I start talking in oddball languages when the word sounds weird and funny to me. I don't know why I do that. It's just a strange habit. It's just kind of bizarre that way. Some things, like when I start talking about super bass,
Change the ID and no should change as well.
or like just get different
Awesome. So this
words. Just sound weird to me
not
sometimes.
only this, but what I could do is I could get a single review and a rating.
Well, let's take a look. We got us the author with his name Yoshi, and verified is not. But I do have a game, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and we got a rating of 10. Somebody really likes that game.
Get the game that is associated with that review, and I could also say, well, I tell you what, get me all the other reviews.
So this is where we're going to get back all the reviews
From those,
for that game.
Now the reason I can do this is
If I know how to spell. Do I know how to spell?
resolve a chain.
I do not know how to spell anymore. I have totally forgotten.
Is for a single review, right? So we use that initial resolver function defined inside the query object to get that single review. Then we move on.
Well, that's great, but so we got all the other reviews, but these don't give you any like useful information, right? I mean, this title, but who are the people? You'd have to get the author back to also know who actually rated it this way, right? So you'd want to go, can you keep nesting? I mean, I assume you probably can, right? So we're going to get the rating, but we want to know who the author was. Hey, Graskin, man, how you doing? I know it's you, man. What's the latest? I don't think I've ever seen you on here. You're the first time I've seen you. On my stream, anyway. I'm sure you've been following other people, but I'm probably just not exciting enough for you, which I get. Right now, I'm just learning GraphQL, which is a database, a more complex database data retrieval for like Postgres or other kinds of databases that you use along with React and NextJS and those kind of things. So it's just a way to get better, more refined data from your databases using those technologies. And I'm just playing with stuff. Yeah? Name. Let's put name there. Okay, there we go. Let's see what that does. Okay, so now I know who's making these. So Peach said it was a 10. Yoshi said it was a 10. And so yeah, all these people seem to really like it. But Yoshi is the one who did this 10. But okay, so we're almost done. There's not much left of this one. GraphQL's only got what, two more pieces left.
Game resolver inside the review object, so it gets the game associated with that review. That's the resolver.
Here's my ability to kind of nest inside and keep nesting in and pulling the data I specifically want.
It goes to the resolver function for reviews inside the game object, and this time.
Essentially, this is turning into your database layer, like if you're doing componentized object-oriented development. This is basically turning into your class library where you're creating the data sources that you'd be using in your code. So your code would be, normally with like if you're doing GraphQL or if you're doing a database layer for a object-oriented C# program, for example, you might have a number of classes, one that would pull reviews, one that would pull games, one that would pull authors, and it would have all the sub data in it. And then you would call that from your UI layer. So this is kind of acting as that. You're going to go ahead and you're going to have your games, your reviews, your authors, all that stuff that's what we're setting up here. We're creating those queries, that data layer that when your UI layers can fetch or request data by calling on this layer, on your database parts, and they're going to go get the data from your database, pull it up, and then your UI, your React, or your NextJS, whatever you're using, is going to be able to format that, put it out on the client. So this is kind of replacing that. So that's what you're talking. That's what this code is about: creating a more robust data layer, data fetching layer. We've only got two parts left. They are mutations, which is just adding and deleting data. You're mutating the data in your database. And then there's, adding and deleting. And then the last one is updating. So that's all it is. We're going to be doing some stuff now where we can change the data. And that's it. That's GraphQL's crash course, just basic add, delete, and update, and fetching. How do you do it? How detailed, how complex can you? And GraphQL allows you to be a little bit better at what you're getting and be more specific. You don't have to get extra data or too much data, because when you do it, while you're doing the query definitions, so you're not fetching the data necessarily until you call it. But unlike with NextJS, when you call the data, you call it like by table. You say, okay, I want to get games, and then you display the games data you want. You'll have it, you can pull it and display it, but it's kind of all or nothing. So, and then you can't really get it relationally. You can't like say, give me the games that have these IDs, because what ends up happening is you'd have to give me the games, and then for whenever somebody would click on, say, one of those games, you would take the ID and go fetch all the authors or all of the manufacturers or whatever, and it would get all of them. Not just the one you want. You'd have to get that one, and then, or you would fetch the one you want based on the ID, but you're still pulling back large chunks. Whereas here you can actually say something like, load the games and just give me the key elements I want of that data. So you're going to give me my authors, my titles, everything for each piece, and then you could just display them out there and you'll get just what you want. Rather than having to make multiple calls to the database, you can get it all at once and then just display it at one time. Rather than making multiple calls back and forth to the database, you can just fetch what you need and only what you need and put it up there. Just, iterate through it and do whatever you want, but you have your data already in front of you. And then, display it to the user as you feel need to. Okay, so let's get on. Let's get on. But I do have, yes, it makes it much more fast and much more performant. Sorry, guys, I'm checking. I'm replying to my wife. She's like, "What are you doing? Not talking to me." Okay, don't want to burn the bridge, gotta reply. Gotta let the wife know that I haven't vanished off the face of the earth. Gotta make myself make it known that I'm still here. All right, let's finish GraphQL. This is getting close. Now we're just going to do some basic updates using GraphQL, and let's see what they want to teach me there. Again, if I was to compare how NetNinja does it versus how the course I took on Coursera did it, this is so much better. I get to do code. I get to create an app that's actually kind of functional. I just get to do stuff, and that's just so much more satisfying than doing the little tidbit lines of code and just practicing the line of code. It's just been, the Coursera one is kind of painful, but they're not all like that, because I did start an Angular Coursera course that was kind of you building an app, the courses that let you build an app are just so much more satisfying, because then as you go, not only can you learn what they're teaching you, but it'll get your brain going. You start thinking, oh, how can I make it do this, or how can I make it do that? And you're trying to, your brain starts to branch out, and you're able to you're able to come up with solutions that might just take it to the next level. Or you learn some other little tidbit, kind of like I did when I was doing the Python class, when he would have one little thing and I'm like, there's got to be an easier way. And I try to bring in my knowledge of other languages and try and learn the Python way, which allowed me, that's the whole point of taking the Python class for me. It wasn't so much about learning the fundamentals of coding and doing it but through Python. It was about learning how to use Python syntax. So I wanted to learn as I was going along, well, how would Python do it, more efficiently, and not, and so on and so forth. And that's kind of what I was trying to do. So a lot of the functions I wrote or did on there, I play with and try to use Python equivalents to other languages I knew so that I could learn the Python equivalents. There's a lot of interesting things with Python, and I'm hoping to take a more advanced class. After I finish this one, I will have finished React. I will have finished NextJS. I mean, obviously, I haven't finished them, but I have taken those classes. And then I have this GraphQL and the Python. And then, like I said, I do have a goal and plan in place to start reverse engineering my website using some of this tech, so I can start really digging in and actually putting practical application to this code that I'm learning, so I can get better at it and actually make it something I can go into a company and go, hey, I've done this, check it out, did this website, I have this this code on my GitHub, and just starting to provide stuff for my resume, and hopefully also have that experience and knowledge that maybe I can apply to my own stuff, like I said, my website, that kind of thing. So we'll continue to plug away here and see what we got. Let's finish this up.
Schema by making a new type, which is called mutation. It's inside this.
What are you doing these days, Graskin? Are you doing are you working? Are you you still, what place are you at nowadays? Well, not even so much where are you working. Let's maybe just go with what are you doing at the place you're working. Sometimes we don't want to give that information while streaming. I get it. Where we're at.
Called delete game, and for that mutation we need an ID argument to say what game should be deleted. We also specify the return type as well after a user makes it.
So we're going to create, these are actually called mutations.
So for example, once a user deletes a game from the data,
We're going to call it delete game ID colon ID with a data type, and then we're going to go game bracket.
That's the mutation defined, but we also need to make a resolver for the mutation.
Repairing
Inside our
laptops? Really, huh?
Called mutation. So right at the bottom down here, comment,
Like
and then
get in there and replacing the bits and parts inside, or like
object, and we
replacing the screens, that kind of thing?
for these, etc. So we want to make a resolver called delete game right here. So let's do that.
All right, so we're going to create a resolver that actually does this.
Like so. And it also takes in the same
Is he putting it under
parent,
under
we
the
also
same
have
thing we did?
args over here, and then context if we want it. So we don't actually need cursor, which is parent, to delete a game. We do need the argument.
I think my wife gave me her cold.
So
I'm just saying.
inside here, what we want to
I'm going to have to tell her. I think you gave me your cold. Not too thrilled.
It's
my own fault.
We're deleting a game, so we want to remove one, right?
She offered to keep her distance, and I go. She goes, oh, you don't have to give me a kiss. I know you don't want to get sick. And I'm like, I don't get sick. You aren't gonna get me sick. I'm immune to colds. Famous last words. All right, maybe I might get a cold if I don't back off. But kind of do. You don't need to fear.
Anyway, so dot filter. So we want to go through this array, and we fire a function for each game, which I'm referring to as G, inside this array, and we want to return false, whereby the.
Sometimes I'm just typing to follow along with him, but I'm not. I gotta register it.
And we're returning false.
So we're filtering the games, obviously, on the game we want to delete, which is going to be where probably game ID equals args. Oh. Oh, okay, he's going the wrong way.
therefore we filter it out the array. All right. So.
Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay.
And we specify.
So he's doing this a little interesting. He's getting all the games back. Oh, so you're at Boeing, huh? Nice. My son Casey was trying to get a job over there as an electrician. Well, you know, the way the electricians union works is like when you're out of work, they put you on a list, and then you start moving up the list as people get jobs. And he was at the bottom, and he's trying to work his way up. But a Boeing one came up. He was hoping to get because it was a long-term one. Like, wow, 6 months. You know, as electricians go, there's only so much they can do. But he was hoping to get that one, but it filled up. So he's just waiting for his turn on the list. He's moving up though. He's getting pretty high up on the list. He'll be one of the first to get the next jobs that come up. But anyway, so what they're doing here is to delete the game, it's got to get the game, and it's going to delete the game. I don't understand why they're filtering out all. I guess it's kind of like why doesn't he just get the game object back and delete that object? I don't fully understand why he's getting. He probably explains it, and I should probably just go listen to what he's saying. But ultimately, I think what he's doing here, because instead of doing like this, where we're getting back the object we want, he's actually going to filter out all the ones we don't want. And so it's basically delete everything. It's going to come down to delete everything that's not in this list, which is going to be just the one item that's not equal to, you know, it's going to be all those items that aren't equal to. So it's kind of weird.
The return type to be in a list of games. So the updated games array. So all we need to do then is return db.games. Like so. Alright, so let's say this and give a name. So how do we actually make a mutation from the front end? Because when we make a query, we use this query keyword, give it a name, and then specify.
So he's going to show you how to do it from the front end where you're actually making the call. But all this is doing is deleting. It's a mutation where we're going to. Oh, okay. I think what he's doing is he's basically just resetting your data. So he's not deleting an object from the game. Oh, okay. He's not deleting a game. All right, man. You have a good one. Yeah, you know, get some work done. Till next time. Hopefully we'll see you around. Later, Kruskin. Anyway, so he's not deleting a game so much as he's excluding it from the new data set. So it's going to pull this data set back that doesn't include the ID you're getting rid of, and then you just you restock your data with the new set of data, with the new list. It's kind of a weird approach, really.
Now with a mutation, it's very similar. We just specified that it's a mutation, not a query anymore. Then we can give this a name, so I could call it delete mutation. We can specify any variables that need to go into this query, and we do need a variable. That's going to be the ID, and that's going to be of ID type. And then inside here, we can specify what mutation we want to make, and that was called delete game. So let me get rid of this because it's automatically created it for us, and this should be ID instead to refer to this. So now we need to pass in ID variable down here, and that is going to be 2. So we're deleting the game with the ID of 2, and remember, we get back as a return an array of games with that game deleted, so updated version of it. So we can specify now what fields we want back. So I can say we want the ID of the game back, the title, and the platform. So let's give this a whirl, delete mutation. Alright, so now we can see ID 1 and 3 and 4 and 5, no 2, because it's been deleted.
It's kind of interesting how this works. So it's not a colon, that's an exclamation point. So it's really, I mean, there's nothing in here. I mean, I guess delete game, is that a keyword? No, it's not really even a keyword. You're creating this object called delete game. I mean, we have a mutation that we created delete game, but it doesn't, there's nothing about this that says delete. So we created our own object. Huh. Okay, that didn't work. Failed to fetch, type error, failed to, oh, type error means I probably spelled something wrong. That's the first thing I'm learning. I'm learning anymore that if it's got a type error, I probably spelled something wrong or used the wrong case. Let's go see what I did. So we are on 8 now, I think. All right, so let's go look at the schema. See what I did wrong. The only thing was this. Oh, he's got add game, which I haven't done, but we got the type mutation delete game. Delete game, which is small d, capital G, and we got ID with an empty and a G, and he's got game. Game is capital. And if I've been following along, it's probably, yeah, it makes sense because I made all those capital. So it doesn't know what that is. So that's probably all I need to fix. I'm thinking that's it. Or not. Could be something else. Apparently there's something else. Let's go see what I have on my... So we got game. ID, capital G, E, delete game. All right, so we're good there. That's an exact match, I think. Oh, I did that wrong. This is supposed to be over here. Got a parentheses in the wrong place. So we're going to do delete game parentheses, and this is going to return a game object. And we'll try that again. There it is. I don't even know which one I deleted. There is no 2 though. 1, 3, 4, 5. So we got rid of 2. Whatever 2 was, it's toast. It's no longer in my list. It's interesting though, because it doesn't feel like a delete. What this feels like is an exclusion. But I guess the best way to know is to go here and actually look. See, that did not delete the game. We have games here, and 2 is still here. It did not delete the game. So I'm curious what he says about that.
Now, obviously, when the server restarts, that is going to be there again because we reinitialize the variables and all that jazz. This is not permanent, this deletion. It's only while, you know, this current session is going on, if you like. But as soon as we restart the server, that's going to return. But like I said, you'll probably use a database where you'll have a bit more persistence than this. So anyway, now we've deleted a game, let's also try adding.
Oh, so this is a temporary delete. This is really just an exclusion. But apparently, if you're using like an actual backend database, this has more of an effect because we're using this Apollo thing and it's not, it's all in memory. I'd like to see it actually delete, to be honest. It doesn't delete from your data sets, for your database, even if it is just a database JSON. Still, I would kind of like to see, this isn't even JSON, this is just a database server data list, whatever.
Okay,
but
so
let's go.
This delete game mutation. Next, I want to try making a mutation whereby a user can add a new game. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to go to the mutation type in the schema, and we need to add the mutation, which I'm going to call add game. And it's going to accept some arguments, so we do need parentheses, but we'll come back to those in a second. Now, as a return value, we're going to send a single game object back to the user, the one that we've just created. So, for the arguments of this mutation, we need to basically grab all of the fields that make up a new game, minus one of them, the ID, because we don't want the user to decide the ID, the new game that they add. Instead, we're going to generate a random ID in the resolver later for this mutation. But we still need the game title and maybe the game platform, maybe the game price if there is one. Basically, any property that makes up a new game. So we could add each of those fields as different arguments inside here, or we could make a new special input type in our schema, which allows us to group together several arguments into one type. And then that can be used as a single argument elsewhere, like in this mutation. So the way we do that is by coming down here and first of all saying input instead of type, which says to GraphQL that this isn't an actual type of data, but more of a collection of fields that we can use in a mutation as a single argument, for example.
So we're creating
Inside this
kind of a
what fields
custom type of.
and also the type of those fields.
This allows you to define it so you could use it in other places.
So I said right here, we need two properties, the title of the strings and also the platform, which is a collection of strings or a list of strings, and they're both required. We don't want to add in the reviews because we're not making a review, we're just making a game, and then later if you were to have a review, you would associate it with a particular game. We don't need to do that right here when we're adding a game for the first time. But now what we can do is we can say, okay, this mutation takes in a variable called game, and that is going to be of type add game input, and it's required. So when we're making this mutation from the front end, it's going to require us to add a game variable which looks something like this, an object with these two properties, okay? So now we have that mutation sorted, we can go back to the index file and we can add that mutation right.
I got a syntax error. What do I do? I always know when I hit my my format and my format doesn't do something that I've got a syntax error. So I'm probably missing what, a comma? Comma here maybe? Nope, that ain't it. All right, let's go see what we got. So we're still on 9, but we got we're in the schema, and we got our type. Got add game, add game input, exclamation point, got it, colon, and game. Oh, add game. Oh, add game is just a regular game. We're just doing one game, not an array of games for one. I don't think that's the problem though. I don't feel like it is. Nope. All right, so then we have our add game input. Add game input. Looking for syntax errors. Don't have one. Squigglies, title, colon, string, capital string with an exclamation point, comma. Platform, perfectly fine, colon with a bracketed thing with a couple of bangs. We are all good there. We do have our parens around, and we got parens around that. Something's not working. Termination, delete game. I know you don't need a comma here. I don't that much I know. I can take that out, but it still does not explain why that stopped working. What am I missing here, folks? Where's my breakdown? My breakdown must be something. Delete game, and add game. Got add game, capital G. I guess I can do it just like he does so that I'm not confusing myself with the order, which I kind of am. I keep looking at the wrong one. I'm actually going to go home and purposely do this because I want to see it fix it. See, it doesn't fix it. If it doesn't fix it, there's something wrong with my code because it doesn't know what to do. Waiting for file changes before starting. Okay, so we got add game. I could just copy this, but I don't like to do that because that means, I mean, yeah, I might fix it, but it won't show me what I did wrong. So I don't like to do that. Mutation. We already know it's a mutation. Add game. Small g. Big A, big G, big I, big G. So many syntax. I'm always afraid I'm going to have my case problem. I always mess up the case. But I don't appear to have messed up the case here. I don't see what the problem is. Calling game. And then we got input, game input. And there's no particularly good reason why this is. I don't think that's the thing, but I don't know why. Add game input. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing what I'm doing wrong here. Title, platform, string 1, and string bang. Okay, well, let's just move on. Let's go see what else he's doing.
Here after delete game. So I will call this add.
Oh, we're doing the index file now. And he's doing add game.
game, and we're going to take in the args argument. So we don't need the first one, which is parent, so we'll just go for that. Then args, and the reason we need that is because the game property is going to be on the arguments because we're sending that from the front end, and on that game is going to be the title and platform properties. So what do we want to do here? Well, we want to make a new game object and add it to the game array, right? So we can make the object first of all by saying let's game equal to object. Then I'm going to spread out, so args dot game. And it's dot game because that is the name of this variable. And on that will be those two properties, the title and the platform. So we're adding those two properties to the new object. And then the reason I'm spreading that is because we also need an ID property which we need to run and generate. Now, you might be better off using some kind of random UID generator library or something like that. I'm going to use the math object to generate this for the sake of our tutorial. But we're going to say math.floor, then math.random, and this generates a random number between 0 and 1 in decimal format, and then we'll times that by 10,000. So what this will do is generate a random number between 1 and 10,000, and it will have decimal points as well, but then what we're doing is flooring that so it becomes an integer, okay? And then we'll convert it to string like so. So we have our ID property.
Oh, jeez, why did it do that? Dot to string to string.
Push, and then we're going to push on. In fact, not db.push, db.games.push. Push onto the game.
db.games.push
And
game.
finally, we return that new game that we created because if we go to the schema, we
Return
a game type. All right, so
game.
that is pretty much it, my friends. So let's try this from.
Okay, so just a little explanation of what's going on here. This is something I learned back in, I want to say, NextJS or React. This just takes all of the items that are in args. Okay, so this is an array of arguments, and they're going to come back and it's going to say, hey, we want all the args, but we want them spread out. So whatever these array thing items, it's going to break them out to almost like a list. So if you were to read this back, output it, it's actually not going to list ... args game or list game. It's going to go all the parts that are in game and it's going to list them down. Additionally, we're going to add to it our own ID, and that is floor, which is basically taking the integer. I don't know if there's a ceiling, but if you have like a 1.1999, it's going to just be 1. Or if you take if it's 1.9999, it's still going to end up 1. It just basically takes the floor. It cuts it out. And then you're also building up you're taking a random number, multiplying it by 10,000. There could be decimals in there because it's a float thing. So, and I should probably capitalize this M because it's probably not going to like that. And to string, and then we're just taking that number, turning it into a string, and we're going to assign that to our ID right here. So we're creating our own item generation. I don't see lets too often. I'm surprised he's using a let, to be honest, but it's pretty uncommon. Oops, why did that? What did I do? Did I put the comma in a weird spot? I did. Look at that. Okay, so now we got that. We got args. Everything appears to be good, except as we well know. See, when I did the format there, it worked. That means that's at least compiling, which is why it worries me on this one, because it doesn't want to work. So I'm a little worried about that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's probably not going to work, but let's see.
From the front end. Okay then.
So we're off the front end. We're going to run a test on this puppy. And let's see what we got. We're going to go do another mutation.
So let me just
He's just copying this one. I'm going to plop it over here. And we're going to call it add.
copy this, and then we'll go over here and paste it in, and we're going to call this one add mutation. We also need to pass in the ID. No, we don't in fact, do we? We need to pass in a game object.
Oh, we got to
and
pass
that
in a
is
game
type
object.
game input, like so. Alright, so now we need to specify that the game is required here, like so, and then this is called add game instead. Alright.
So we're going to go add, change this to add game. And then we're going to have game. And $sign game.
So now down here we need to pass the variables in. So remember, we need a game property, and that is an object. Inside the object we have the title, so we'll just say new game, very original, right? And then we also need a platform, and that platform is going to be an array, and inside here we will say switch and PS5, like so. So remember, it returns the new game back, and we're requiring these three fields from the return game. So let's try this, add mutation. And you can see now we get this random ID 263.
He's cruising along and I'm probably typoing. Okay, so let's see what I got here. We got game, we got title, colon, a new game, and platform, colon, switch PS5. We are, oh, nope, not missing the comma. I'm not missing anything. Wow, how can I, is that even possible? Nope, it's not possible. Wait, what did I do wrong? Variable $sign game of type game input used in position expecting type add game input. What? It's exactly the same. Message variable $sign game of type add game input used in position expecting type add game input. Add game input. Oh, I did not put the $sign. Boy, they want it to match exactly. Okay, let's do that. Oddly enough, it worked. So whatever my problem is here, that it wouldn't let it, it won't let it format it. I don't know why, but it's not really complaining. I don't know why. Just that it maybe doesn't know how to format that thing. I don't know. But it did add my PS5 thing, theoretically. This is what it returned, right? New game, switch, platform. So we got 7858 was my number. Obviously, we're not going to match numbers because our numbers are both randomly generated. So
Awesome, so that's worked. And now I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to just require all of the games right here. So games like so. We don't need these anymore, just so we can see an updated list of games, and we'll get the title of each one. And
let's change this. Let's put another one up here. I'm gonna do what he's doing, but it's probably better that he has, by naming it game query, you actually get the joy of it, allowing it to actually be at the top already for you, and you know what you're looking for. That's probably why he's been doing this. Games, and then we're gonna go here. We're gonna go title. Does he put anything else in there?
these parentheses. Let's run this, and you can see now a new game so it's been pushed on to the array. Awesome. So in the next lesson, we're going to look at one more mutation.
Okay, so these are our games, and we don't have a new game. Why is my new game missing? His is on there. Mine is not. Look, there's not a new game here. God, wait a minute, man. Yours worked. That's not fair. How do you do that? Okay, so his is new game. See, he's got, his shows a new game at the bottom. Mine just shows the ones that were there already. A new game. That's weird. Okay, well, let's see what I did wrong. What did I do wrong? So we got add mutation, which is here. Data returns. Why is that? I got a game query. It's totally, add mutation. We added it. We go here and we select it. Oh, there it is. Now it added it. Don't know why that changed, but it put it in that time. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's not actually putting it in here though. Yeah, see, there's not actually a new game. So it's all in memory. The way the Apollo thing works is it's all memory. So it's loading up your data. It's you giving you your data. You can edit and hold the data. But Apollo is just like an in-memory tester is essentially what it comes down to. It's kind of interesting.
And that is to update existing data.
Okay, so now the last thing is we are on the last step of the crash course for GraphQL. And this one is just doing some mutations. One more mutation. We got updates.
Where we collected two fields together, so that could be our variable right here, just this one variable called game, which has this kind of structure. So we're going to do one more mutation now, and that is going to be for editing a game. So I'm going to come down to the bottom, and I will make a new one called update.
So we're doing a mutation.
Like so.
And go update.
Here we need some
game.
We need the ID of the game that we want to update, and we didn't need an ID here, remember, because we're adding a new game that doesn't have an ID yet. But when we're updating existing data,
He hasn't said this yet, but he did say we're going to put ID in here.
So let's put that in. But we also need any kind of edits that we want to make. All right. So what I'm going to do is make another item called edits, and for this I'm going to create a new input. So let me copy this.
So we're going to do a new input,
Paste it down here,
and we're going to do the same thing.
call this edit game input, and then we'll set that here, edit game.
And we're going to call it edit game.
And we're not going to make this, yeah, in fact we will make this required. Okay, and this is going to return game. Now, these things right here, these two fields, they are the same, so you might be thinking, well, why don't we just reuse this one here? And the difference is that I'm not going to make these two required, because if you're going to update a game, you might just want to update one of the fields, like title. So I don't want to make, therefore, the platform required if you don't want to update that. And likewise, if you just update the platform, you might not want to update the title, so therefore I don't.
Okay, so the reason why we're creating two and not using the same input, just call it a game input, is because these are required. So when you add a game, you have to have a title and you have to have platform. But in all, you might edit the game title or the game platform, but you might not edit them both. So that's why these are not actually required. You only edit the one you want to edit, and therefore they created it slightly different without the required.
If we use this, we would have to basically update both of the fields in order for this to work, but I don't want to make a user do that. So by making a new one where they're not required, it's a bit more flexible. And also, I'm not putting the ID in here, like so, and instead I'm specifying it here. And the reason for that is because it's not really an edit, is it? So I don't want to group the ID into some kind of edit object. I'd like that to be its own separate argument. So let me delete that, save it, and now we can...
You can't edit the ID. I don't know. He just showed an example, and that's why you don't do that.
down here, update.
I thought it was kind of weird he was putting that in there. I was like, why is he doing that?
But we do need the args because the edits and also the ID are going to be on that.
So after add game, we're going to go in here and we're going to throw this guy down, and we're going to go update game. We're going to go comma args. I'm going to go here and go squiggly mark. db.games equals db.games.map. We're going to do this and g equals squiggly mark, squiggly bracket. I'm going to go if g.id equals args.id, and then we're going to squiggly mark that one out. We're going to squiggly bracket again. I'm going to say return squiggly bracket g comma args.edits, and we're pretty close to that one being done. We're going to go down here, return g.
So that's the returned object right here, and that's going to go inside the array then. If these don't match, then we don't need to change it, and we just return the original object to the array. So I hope that all makes sense.
Okay, so this whole mess of things is basically saying we're going to get our games, we're going to filter on the game that we want. We only want one particular game. And we're going to say if the ID of the game that we want doesn't match the args ID that we're asking them for, so we're going to update 2 or 3 or whatever, then we're not going to do anything. If we do something, it's going to just return the new changes. The args, a list that we created that has our new changes in it, will come in as the new spread. Here is, or these are the edits, and this is the one we're going to get back. We're going to get back this as the return values, but these are the edits that are going to be popped on top of it. This return G is only if we do not have, in fact, I'm wondering, do I have the right parentheses? I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I have the right parentheses. Okay, so what's going to happen is if for some reason this never passes, we never actually get something changed, we're just going to return the game that is listed. Whatever game it is that we're working with, it's not going to have the right ID. We won't be in there.
Now, at the end of this update game mutation, we need to return something back to the user. So if we take a look at the schema, we return the game that we just edited. So we shall say return, and then we'll say db.games.find to find a particular game, and cycle through those, and we want to return the game where the ID is equal to ours.id, because again, remember we have the ID argument right here. Okay? Cool. So now we have that mutation. Let's try it out. Okay then, so back over here, I'm going to create a new tab, and I'm going to...
This is just returning the end result. So this is the game that's going to get the edits, and this is the game that doesn't get edits if it's not going to match. And then we're going to return back the one that's supposed to be whatever it matches. I mean, whatever one it's supposed to be, it's going to return it.
Copy this mutation, which is for...
So we're going to go to add mutation. We're going to copy this whole thing just for the sake of simplicity. We're going to put it over here. Probably going to want to edit the one that's down here as well. So we're going to go to add, over this add mutation, put it down here. We're going to change the name. We're going to call it update. I don't know why it's mutation. It could be update game.
Adding a game. I'm going to paste it on here, and then I will call this
Update, and then what is it?
edit mutation, and this right here needs to be edit game input, and this is called edits. This and this right here is edits and $edits. But also remember, we need to pass in the ID, so we can say the ID is equal to, oops, we need $sign first of all, ID is of ID type, like so. We need the ID right here, so let's say the ID is the ID variable, awesome. Okay, this is not add game, it's update game, like so, and we don't pass in the ID, we can pass in a title and a platform. Mind you, these are what we're going to get back, so we can pass in the ID here if we want to. For the variables, let's copy this again. So it's going to be very similar.
I do ID colon, oh, it's supposed to say dollar sign. I knew that looked wrong. That's not the same thing. All right, so we got bang, bang, you're dead. Bang, bang. My name's Fred. ID title, so we're going to go over here. We're going to go, we don't need a title. I don't need the ID. Title, platform, update game. We're missing something. We got something off. Something's wonky, my friends. Edit. Edit. Edit is capital, I guess. $, edits, not games. $, edits, colon, edit game input, $, comma, $ID equals ID exclamation point.
And paste it right here. So we're going to have an edits property, and we also need an ID property. So let's do the ID down here. Oops, done that incorrectly. Comma here, and then ID. We'll set that equal to 2, and we'll change this.
Okay, so he's doing quite a bit down here. He's changing this a lot. So this is going to be, we're going to go edits. Oops. And then we're going to go title, the new game, platform, switch PS5. And then underneath all this, he's going to go ID, colon, 2, I guess, because we're going to edit 2.
To, I don't know, Dark Souls.
He's changing this name. We're going to change it to Marvel Snap because we all know that game could use some changes. And we're going to go, what else?
And then we don't need to pass in an update to this.
So we're not doing platform. We like that it's on the Switch and the PS5, although it should also be on the PC.
So what we're doing is we're passing in the edits right here, of which we just have one, the title, and then the ID of the game we want to edit. So we're passing both of those in here, and then we're using those inside this mutation.
All right, so I've got obvious errors going on
Send back.
because you can see all the syntactical squiggly lines going on, so I'm obviously doing something wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Edits. We don't have that broken. That's okay.
Back the game and give us, and then the ID, just do that. So then we're going to get these two.
So we got edits, colon. Squiggly braces. We have edit squiggly braces, and then we've got nothing that looks wrong to me.
Fields back. So what we're doing is we're passing in the edits right here, of which we just have one, the title.
And so we just changed the title. How come this is not looking right? Edits.
Then the ID of the game we want to edit. So we're passing both of those in here.
All right, so edit mutations. We got edits up here, and then we've got edit game input, which we've got identified correctly. Colon, $, exclamation point, comma, ID with an exclamation point. So we're all good there. And then we got update game, which update game. I got squiggly marks everywhere. It does not like anything. Cannot query field update game on type mutation. Did you mean delete game? So I must have something broken over here because it's not actually finding my items. So let's go back to the code, see what's going on, because we obviously have some breaks. We're on the last thing. So we're going to go ahead and look at the schema. Start with the schema. We have add game input, and we have title string, exclamation string. But the new things we did were actually this mutation up here. So we've got add game, delete game, update game. We got the ID. Everybody's happy there, except I also have to put edits in of the type edit game input, which was down here, edit game input, which is title string, capital S. Everybody's happy there, platform colon string required. So we got that slight connection variation. After game inputs, we have a return of the game object. Again, we appear to be good to go. Update game ID. Everybody looks solid. So we're going to go back over to the index.js and go see where we fell apart there perhaps. Index.js is what is index.js? What do we got going on here? Update game. What did I do? So we got mutation, and under mutation we've got delete game, update game, comma, update game. So we're good there. And then we got underscore args with some squiggly bracket, db games equals db games dot map g. dbgames.mapg, squiggly braces, if g.id with a triple equals args.id, all good, squiggly breaks return, lots of g, comma, args.edit, edits, got it, and a return. And then we got return g with this and this, and return db.gameFind, return db.gameFind, and then we got g and g.id equals args.id. Oh, there you go. Everything's perfect. I don't know why it's broken. I don't know what's going on, man. There's nothing wrong. What is wrong with this picture? Things have gone downhill. And you can kind of see that I have syntactical errors because it didn't even put in a space here. Oh, there it goes. Fix the spacing. Oh well, so the formatting worked. Usually the formatting won't work if there's a syntax error. But as you can see, we've got something that's not working, because when I go over to Apollo here, Apollo doesn't know what this is. And I've done it, and this doesn't even know what this is. Property edits is not allowed. What? And even though I did it exactly like he's got, now it's a little trickier to compare what he got here in post, because obviously it has to be here, because they don't actually have that on there. Oh, there is a comma supposed to be here though. Did that fix anything? Nope. ID:2. I don't know why it doesn't like it. But I've got problems. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't. I don't know what it's. I don't know what. I'm looking at it all and I don't see any flaws. Let's just run it. The most it's going to do is blow up, right? Maybe it'll tell me what I'm doing wrong. Type error. Failed to fetch. Handle quest. Legacy include cookies. I don't know what any of that is. But it does say type error, so there's obviously something that's not matching. Did I edit game input? I don't. Oh, there it is. I see it. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know how to spell. Oh, or type. One of them has come back to haunt me. Now watch, everything's gonna work. Well, kinda. Cannot read properties of undefined reading find. Now that could be what was going on with that. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. I was trying to figure out why that doesn't like that. Edit game input. Alright, so let's go back to index.js. What doesn't it like about my find? Find. Everything here passed. Cannot read properties of undefined reading find. Alright, well, let's see what I got here. What's different? Index. Find db games. This is supposed to be plural. We're looking at the games collection, not the games game. Oh, stop it. There are times when I'm not fond of that. Let's go back over here and try it again. There it is. We are the new masters. We've completed it. Let's see what's left. That's it, man. I think we're almost at the end.
So then we're going to get these fields back. So what we're doing is we're passing in edit.
There's a little bit more, so we'll see.
We just have one, the title, and then the ID of the game we want to edit. So we're passing both of those in here, and then we're using those inside this mutation, and we're saying, look, once you've made this mutation, this edit, send back the game and give us the title and platform. So the title should be updated now. So let's do that, and we can see now the title is Dark Souls. The platform is unchanged. If I change instead platform,
So we can change platform here.
an array of strings, and we'll just change this to be, I don't know, Xbox, whatever. Let's edit that again.
So we,
Now
oh,
it's just Xbox. I can change
Xbox.
5 if I wanted to,
PS5, and then we're going to add in PC, right? Because I think the PC is the most important. Look, man, if you're creating games and you don't create them for the PC, your name. I don't want your game. PC is all that matters in this world.
And we can see now we've made those edits. Awesome. Alright then, guys.
There we go. Now we got PC. Now the game is good.
Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you feel comfortable now with the
That's it. We are now GraphQL experts. I don't know. Maybe not experts, but we are definitely informed, capable. If you have this, keep it, put it in your GitHub, and so whenever you're like, oh, how do I do this again? You can go grab your sampler and say, oh, okay, I need to do this, and index and schema, and hopefully take some notes. Make sure you have all the bits and parts. But typically, you know, you've got to have your things set up in your schema. You set up your database parts in your schema, and then you come back over to your index and you declare the objects that you're going to do, the actions you're going to do. They're like the functions that are going to call the database bits. So when you're over here in your schema, you have your query, you get back the data, and then these objects here, or these tasks, can actually edit what you pull back from the query. Now, I have questions that aren't fully answered here, and one of them is I'm not sure how is this stuff that's being managed in memory actually changing data, and how's that going to be permanent? I mean, it's changing it, but it's only doing it in memory. So I'm guessing that has to do because we're using an Apollo sandbox, which is just loading the data up into like a virtual database, and then we're doing stuff with it. So if you're actually doing this stuff in a database, it's going to keep it. But my thought is, one of the things is, I'm guessing when you say mutation, perhaps that's a keyword that makes it act. It's going to do, it's like, okay, so it's telling you this is an update or a delete or an edit. The one thing I don't fully understand either, which doesn't really get into too much, is what's the keyword here? So normally there's something, because we're making up these names, right? So edit game input, add game input. What makes that an add? What makes that an edit? Because you're not, I mean, yes, the word delete and update are in the word. Is it looking at that word? Is it, can you actually build, does it know that when you have add in the game that that's what it's going to do? It's going to add? Seems weird. You know, I mean, it's like, how is that? I mean, really? Is it looking at the word? I mean, we're calling it. What's the trigger point? What's the thing that tells the database this is an add or a delete? Because, you know, when you do an update in SQL, the keyword's update, or you do a delete, or you do whatever you're doing, you have keywords that you use. You tell it update query, you do an update query or select query, or, you know, a delete query, and you just have them. But then you have conditions that tell it what. And so a lot of these, like these, the ID is a condition. You know, it's the ones where this ID matches or whatever you're doing. But ultimately, there's nothing here that says this update isn't an update, other than the word update in the word game, which is a thing we made up. And it's kind of like, not sure. It's like my brain, the way I've worked with things. So even when you go to update game down here, again, all you did is bring your name that you created, update game. And then down here, you're actually doing a function, right? So you're doing something. Is it because you're doing whatever you're doing here? Is that what tells it it's an update? Because all this is, you know, find this object, go to games, find G, and these are your edits. This is your object. There's no word update here. There's no change, no edit, no anything. Same with the add game. All we're doing is say let game equal, and these are our parameters, and this is the new ID we want. Oh, push. Okay, push is probably a keyword there. I could see that. Push is probably a keyword that says put this in your data set. All right, that's probably one. But what about the delete game? All this does is say filter it. All this says, where is the command here that says remove it from memory? Yeah, I could filter. I could do a filter or find. Is filtering a delete action? But no, we did a delete. We did a filter on the review up here. We didn't delete nothing. But maybe because it knows it's a mutation, maybe that combined with the end result. So whatever data we get back, we're changing it. It's a little nebulous to me. It's not very clear as to what makes this a delete, you know, because all you're doing is filtering it same way you're filtering it up here, and that's just to get the data back. I don't understand why this one down here is a delete, other than the fact that it's called a mutation. The mutation tells it, okay, well, this is a filtered object. Save it. there's no command here that says save it, commit it. This is perma. So it's got to be the simple fact that it's a mutation. This is the data, therefore that's all we're keeping. Don't know. Or maybe it has to do with the fact that you're filtering it, but you're actually filtering it in the database, not in the return set, because we are returning this, but here we're just filtering it and then we're returning what we filtered. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand why can't you just say return equals? Because it's still DB games, right? That's all it is. Why not just return equals, and then it's exactly the same as the author's filter, except we're using args and we're filtering on the ID instead of the parent. But still, you're just getting back the data here. So there you go. I mean, there's still the questions I have, but yes, we've completed one more class. Yay me! I got my certificate of completion of GraphQL. I will download it because it's probably good to have these things stored somewhere on my local machine. And but I will move that around later. That's it for me for now. I'm gonna take a break, and then who knows what I'll do next. I gotta do some job stuff. Go apply for my weekly jobs. I've got to. What else do I got to do? Probably should do some budgeting for the money we do have, and then let's see. Got to do my unemployment, and then maybe I'll do some Watcher of the Realms, because I got to do Watcher of the Realms today, because I'm trying to, see if that's a viable source of some kind of income. I don't know if it is. I doubt it. It's a little thing that they do on Stream Elements. People can get in there and try to stream and make a little money off that. I don't know if it'll work, because you have to probably get really far and be really good, and and you see how much I play. I don't play that much, but hey, if it's worth $20, it's worth $20. I'll take it. Until next time, you take it easy.